Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Coping with Life, Disabled and Mentally Ill. I am your host, Scott. It is Saturday. Hope you are well. So, last week I did a little intro of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So now I'm going to go more in depth. I have beat the game. And be warned, this is going to be unhinged. This is my review. And there may be spoilers. Just a heads up on that. But this is just my, I'm not going to go really in the story, but I want you to enjoy it if you play it. But this is my experience playing it. Especially, being an avid gamer, I'm going to be completely honest. And, not everything of the game is thing that I like, but, it's not for me, even though some of the things that you're supposed to do, have achievements to it. Some that I probably will never have because it's just not built for me. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it really takes place from calm to where the original game ended on disc 1, with a lot of additional flavor and whatnot. And I have a little over 70 hours in the game. And there's a few things that I'm not a fan of. And being completely honest. One, the game is, if you just go through the story, that's okay. But most of the meat and potatoes of the game, of each little region that you go to, you have a companion that you do stuff for, and his name is Chadley, and it's basically monotony, so repetition. Do these Reveiw towers fight these creatures, scan these crystals, and it's in each location, and so it's a little bit different, but it's the same. And it's very repetition. It's modern game. When I say modern games, you have similarities with the Arkham Knight series. You have Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom, with those towers. As with Assassin's Creed, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's just, like Horizon Zero Dawn. So majority of everything that you have to do, and some of the tasks that you have to do, especially the quests, the side quests that you can do, you can lock yourself out because some of the stuff that they ask you to do, you have to do, like pressure an enemy. You can't pressure an enemy if you kill them in one hit. And so there's a few quests that I can't do because I'm a higher level. And so, some of the stuff is for somebody who plays on Eevee, somebody who Not a big fan of repetition, and none of the minigames. So the original 7, a lot of the minigames were fun. They were hard, but some of them were fun. Out of all the minigames, I didn't like any of them. Fort Condor was too hard. And I didn't like any of the minigames. The Queen's Blood, I avoid that, even though some of the stuff is tied to playing it. It really makes you, it really does force you to do all these things that wasn't in the original game. And to me, they're not fun. Not fun at all. And then it really does make me sad, because I was really looking forward to be immersed by this game, and with somebody with disability, with it's hard for me to have change, but I have an opinion, and it's not fun. As somebody who games a lot, and when you spend all this money, and the story, the way it's told, is not the best, because in order to continue, it's like, oh, by the way, you need to go and do these certain side quests, and then you can progress. Not a big fan. It's like the Ever Crisis mobile game, where you have to spend your own money, which I don't, because I got none. But you have to, in order to continue, you have to be a high enough level, even if you are at where you're recommended. Like if you need 100,000 damage and you lose, you can spend more money to continue where you left off. But it's like, nah, I don't play that way. But with 7, you can go through the story, but it does make you, oh, by the way, you need to do this to continue. There's a point halfway through the game where you are forced to do minigames. And they're not fun. So there is, during the Rufus ceremony, excuse me, still not feeling the best, but you have all this camera angle work, and for somebody who gets motion sickness, and you have to hit all these buttons to get your score up, and to do what the game wants you to do, is basically have a perfect score. And you have yellow if you tap a button rapidly, and then one is hold, and then one is just a singular tap, and it's color coded. And I was having a lot of issues, and you don't really get to retry unless you just reload your save. It's basically one and done, and the little tutorial that they give you that you can repeat is very minor, and nothing of what they want you to do for 4.5 minutes. And I'm not good at that. They did that in the first game of the remake during the dancing thing. And I'm, it's not, friendly for me. And the piano game, for somebody who loves music, I don't understand. It goes too fast, and my eyes and coordination is not built for me. And yes, I am complaining a lot for a game franchise that I love very much, but no, I have beat the game. The story is okay. The flashbacks still give me PTSD and headaches because of the high-pitched loud noises and stuff. But that's me. I understand that. But how often they do. Now, the repetition and monotony of, oh, hey, do this thing. Is this thing fun? No, it's not. It's boring. It's a disappointment. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, other than the main story, even though it does make you do these crappy minigames that are not fun and more time consuming, I hate to say this, but I'm really disappointed. And I don't really want to play the third game, because now that the third game is way out in the ether, but it's really not fun. And it's not built for people like me. It really isn't. Square Enix really, I'm gonna say this, really hate disabled people. I haven't seen any accessibility stuff. Final Fantasy 16 had a lot of accessibility things, and 16 was fun. 7 Rebirth, not fun. It's pretty. But yeah, there's a lot of things with Rebirth that I don't like. And yeah, maybe the title of this is harsh, but I'm speaking from somebody who has spent 70 hours in this game, and Fort Condor on easy was near impossible, and you need to do these proto-relics, and then there's the timing with flashing lights and things, and I was having a lot of issues. I have timing rhythm that's not for me. And the battles, especially on Eevee, take way too long. And I'm okay with, the ending boss taking 45 minutes, and then I'm okay with that. But a normal enemy should not take 6 minutes to defeat. And especially spamming abilities and ATB and being high 60s of levels. The cap is 70. But I try to be very positive. I try to be very open and enjoy what, you know, Square Enix gives me, but I'm disappointed, and it's not fun. As a disabled person with mentally challenging and whatnot, it's not fun. And majority, um, you know, I I'm probably in the few. Because the people that I have talked to who are playing the game, they love a lot of the stuff. Um, the chasing of the Muggles and the story, and it's vastly different. You know, the piano minigame to them is amazing and fun, where it is a struggle for me. None, other than me being able to beat the main story with, excuse me, I need to cough. Sorry. I it I really hate to be very negative, but other than beating the story, and I am a completionist, but this game isn't gonna be something that I can, because it's not built for people, you know, with disabilities and other of the stuff. Which, you know, hey, if, you know, quote unquote normal people can enjoy it, fantastic. But people who spend their $80 and spend 70 hours in the game and be in tears because they're not having fun, that really hurts. That really stings. And I love Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy to death. I love the story. I love everything about the franchise. To the point where I go see the Final Fantasy in concert. And I love that they put a lot of stuff that wasn't in the original game. And the story itself, vastly different. But when 90% of the game I can't enjoy, like, so with, there's live streams that you can go to, and you hit triangle 3 times, and I keep on missing because timing is off for me, because and I will give it credit, they do give you a little leeway, especially with the summon. You can be off just a bit and they'll give it to you on easy. But it's still hard. So the life spring, to do the 3 triangles timing takes me way too long. And it's rapid. And it's all timing, and with, you know, with disabilities and trying to do everything perfect, it's hard. Where normal people are like, oh, okay, literally takes you 30 seconds to scan the live stream. Where it takes me upwards of 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer depending of the level of frustration. And then you have the summoning that, so each area has a summon that you can do to fight them, to make them weaker or full power for quest line later in the game. And it's all timing and button and memorization. Those things took hours upon end, and it's not fun. When you struggle and have to put down the controller and walk away because you can't get the timing and memorying, like, I'll give you an example. One of them was like 0 triangle box XX, and then it's a pattern, but with memorizing and there everything's timing and you can't miss anything. And keep in mind, I'm playing on easy, and I'm not having issues, and none of the stuff in the gold saucer. So there's the 3D brawl. That one put me to tears because I was in the tutorial for 2.5 hours doing the tutorial one time where you have to punch and you have to hit L1 and they're walking you through it, and it took me 2.5 hours to do the tutorial. I could. That's not. It shouldn't be that hard. Because you have to, and it's just, it was frustrating. And where the people that I talk to that are quote unquote normal people, yeah, it took them a couple minutes and then they're on their way, where I'm struggling. And with panic attacks and there, so yeah, I do think Square Enix Hates disabled people and people who they're, because obviously it's not built for me, and here I am spending hard-earned money, well, money that anyway, and I'm not having fun to a game franchise that means the world to me. And it's really sad that I can't enjoy the game to there. And I loved the remake. I loved 7. There were a few issues, a few complaints here and there, but it's when I can go to some of the older games, especially 16. I had a lot of fun. I had the audio cube levels on the side of the entire game for 16, and really helped me, and I really enjoyed 16. And I find myself, when I talk about Rebirth, and last week, I had my concerns, but a week later, I'm really disappointed, and I I it's sad. It really is. Where, as somebody who is very positive, as somebody who loves being happy, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is not fun. Some of the things get confusing. There's a lot of things that I want to dive into. Maybe when I cool off, because this past week has been very hard on me with, trying to enjoy a game franchise that I love, and where just a lot of things, and I just, it really breaks my heart that a game that I have been really looking forward to, and the opportunity to play, and I can't enjoy it because it's really really not accessible, and I it breaks my heart. It really does. I can go into details and break down everything, because Fort Condor, the minigame, should not. So the first two of the Proto Relic in Junin, very simple, and then the last two takes 4 hours each, and then they mock you like, oh, now do hard mode. No. I don't need to be angry. I don't play games like Dark Souls. I don't play Elden Ring. I don't like being frustrated. I don't like that kind of stuff, because you shouldn't. I want to laugh. I want to have fun. This is not fun. Torture is not fun for me. And not wanting to play a game in your favorite franchise that really it really hurts, because they really push hard mode and then extreme mode and whatnot on a lot of things. Then there's the Gears and Gambits, which is not built for people with disabilities, and have to think in 3 different ways, because you have 3 different towers to defend while attacking the salon. It's not built for people like me. And, I'm late 30s, and my entire life is, playing video games and trying to be the best me possible. I don't like being very negative, but I need to be honest. It's a disappointment. And it really breaks my heart, because you can go back through all of the gaming episodes that I talk about Final Fantasy. It's a love story for me. 9 is my favorite. And and the puzzles are challenging, but to me, those challenges are good. But then when you force a card game, which I like card games, but Queen's Blood is not. It's a game that I avoid like a plague. And then you are forced to play Queen's Blood a lot. Like, you have to do good. And if something's not fun, if something's not because of many different things of the game that for people like myself with autism and all this stuff, Queen's Blood becomes torture in way more ways. And explaining to people who are enjoying the game, who loves Queen's Blood, but when I talk to them about all the issues that I have with Queen's Blood, it's like, oh yeah, people like what you suffer from. Yeah, you're not gonna like this. And I wish I could be here and gush about how I love Rebirth. The only thing that I got to really enjoy was the updated song for Cosmo Canyon, which is one. Cosmo Canyon in its entirety is my favorite location in the game, and a lot of Cosmo Canyon, open world, quote unquote, was not really enjoyable for me. Especially gliding the chocobo and not good, but I got to enjoy the story of Cosmo Canyon and Nanaki, and his trial it took me so long to do Nanaki's Red 13's trial, especially with the green and everything that it was monotony, and there were the times where I wanted to just stop the game, but it's not doing justice for me, because, you spend all this money, and you want to enjoy it, and it takes up 150 gigs, where, I can't afford, the additional hard drive space. And, I am completely honest. I had to delete 2 games. I deleted my wrestling game, and then I deleted the racing game and football. So, to make room, and because over 150 gigs, and took forever to download, but that's more on me. But yeah, I hate to be negative, but I'm really disappointed at Square Enix, where remake was somewhat enjoyable, but when you have all the stuff where minigames should be fun and they're not, the box smashing, especially, I really don't want to be negative, because that's not who I am, and I don't like those intrusive thoughts, but yeah, in my opinion, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth hates disabled people. They hate mentally challenged people who, easy mode, and then you have things that are really impossible, and then you add time limits. Because not with Fort Condor and Gears and Gambits and Moogle Rush or whatever, everything you have to do all the stuff, and then you have a time limit. And I'm sorry, but it's not fun, and I'm really disappointed. And crying yourself to sleep because you can't enjoy a game that should be fun. It's not. And I know a lot of people do have fun and enjoy it, but to me it was a struggle. And I really am sorry that this is a negative episode, but for my mental health, I'm done with Rebirth. I can't complete majority of the stuff because it's just not built for people like me, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So I really do apologize for the negativity episode, but yeah, it's sad. So, with that said, I love you all. Please be safe out there in the world. Tell the people in your life you love them, because you never know when they're gone. And know that you're an amazing person. Chase your dreams. Love the people in your life. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because you matter in this world. So with that said, I bid you all adieu.